without any further ado, I will just introduce Ali to you all. So Ali is a senior developer advocate at Peace or Pice. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's pieces.
Pieces, perfect. Pieces. And let me introduce myself. My name is Sourav. I'm product manager at Pie and also organizers of GDG Siliguri. So Ali, to start off, I would ask you that I know you since 2 to 3 years, and I have seen your journey, how you are doing, and it's great. If you guys don't know him, just follow him on Twitter or LinkedIn. You will get to know that. Gosh, first of all, यार इतना घूमता है. So I
Yeah.
really love what you're doing, and maybe you can just give a brief about how you end up here, how you end up in. Before that, you were in Postman, and how you scaled everything, and you are right now where you are.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Firstly, I would like to thank you and GDG Siliguri for this opportunity. And in general, yeah, obviously I've been to Siliguri, and it has been definitely super fun. Knowing you for a long time as well. So if I kind of reflect back on my journey a little bit, I would say, when like I was a student, I was not a public speaker. I was rarely a person who would talk. Introvert at heart, like I would not talk to people. I would actually not do any public speaking. I still remember the days from when I was in my school. I went to the stage and I remembered this particular poem, which I literally, remember till now. But it's a Hindi poem, but I was not able to speak it out on stage. I just ran away from there. And yeah, that has been my previous like stage experience. So I never imagined myself to be in front of thousands of people, trying to teach them, trying to educate them, and all of this. And that journey basically started off from my diploma days, and I started teaching to three four people. These were students who did not clear their programming subjects and they got a KT in it, and I was good at programming, so I was good at C. And back then we used to learn C first. Now people
So
start with
if
Python.
I interrupt, sorry, can you just go a little bit ahead and you can just share us your story that what you have done, like polytechnic, diploma, or then
Yes,
BTech?
yeah.
Okay.
So I completed my polytechnic and then did a degree in information technology. And then while I was doing degree, I was working around with a lot of communities, especially crowdsource, Google crowdsource. That was my significant effort to get campus around 2 countries. After that, I graduated, pandemic happened, which is crazy. So we were not getting a job. I saw Postman, and I knew Postman. I was like, using Postman for a lot of roles. I went to college, applied for a role, got in the interview, got selected within the first 2 rounds itself. They extended an offer. I gladly accepted it. Served there 4 years. And in that 4 years, I built scalable programs for them. One such program is Postman Student Leader, which has more than 350 student leaders across the world. And when I left Postman, it had more than 200,000 students enrolled into the course. At Pieces, I obviously kind of continue what I did, and build a community around AI. So last year has been a startup journey. Postman was also a startup when I basically joined back. It was like 150, 180 employees. Now it's like 800, I guess. Pieces is a very small team than that. We are like 20, 30 people trying to kind of create artificial memory. Yeah.
Hmm. So tell me more about pieces, because I also find it very interesting when I visited their website and what exactly they are doing. Maybe student and all the professionals folks out here, uh, they might be interested that
Oh yeah.
what exactly things are happening. Before you jump into that, I want to just announce one thing, that those who are staying till end, they will got to know about DevFest 2025 uh, dates. We're gonna reveal it
Oh nice.
And yes, so folks out there who are listening right now, just stay till then. Then you're gonna know, you will be the first one to know the dates, and also you will be getting some exclusive offer to that.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
sorry, Ali. Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely. So for pieces, we are an AI company based out of Ohio, United States, and our whole idea is to create artificial memory. So if you go to pieces.app, you will see everything about memory. And initially, we kind of coined this term called as long-term memory of how you can remember over a period of time. Obviously, as a human, you can do that very effectively. It's effortless. You don't have to kind of go out of your way to remember something, some major event in your life. But when you're working, you tend to forget doing that, right? So your computers don't remember what you were working on, not today, not yesterday, not probably 6 months back. And our idea is to create like a history and a system, a memory which you can tap into at any given point in time, and say that 3 months ago I was working on this particular bug and it appeared again. How did I solve it back then? And it would just pump out all the solutions you used at that point in time to solve this particular bug. As a developer, if you are a lawyer, you're working on a particular case 6 months down the line, you need that again, you can just go back to pieces and say, hey, this was the particular case I was discussing. You don't need to know any specific details. Even if you know vaguely about it, you can just describe it and pieces will resurface that information. One important thing to mention, because as I'm able to see everything on your system, you'll be like, this is a privacy concern, and yes, it is. So pieces is designed to be local first, meaning that all of your data doesn't leave your system. It's on device completely. Even the models which we use are nano models and SLMs, small large language models, which stay on your system, and they don't have to. That's why it's a heavy software actually. So it will require you to have a little bit of gigged up machine to be able to run. And then it also uses a favorite large language models like GPT-5, O3, Gemini 2.5 Pro, and all of the models. So you
So
can use them.
recently, I was going through similar kind of product. I can't remember the name. They were also particularly taking the memory of GPT, then Claude,
Yeah,
Grok, and everywhere. You are just storing it one place,
yeah,
and then you can use it again. So just imagine I have done something in Claude, and I'm taking that memory to GPT as well.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's exactly what we
is it
do.
similar? Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do, but we do it across the system. So not just LLMs, but across anything and everything you're working. So right now, the memory, ecosystem which is there relies on you to add connectors, right? So you're like, okay, I need to add a connector in a VS Code. I need to add connector on my Google Drive. I need to add connector to 100 different tools. And it's really from my perspective too much of work from a user point of view, right? Why would I want to go ahead and connect like all my resources, and that too all cloud resources, right? Which is a red flag if you ask me, right? Instead, what we do is we use accessibility tree, meaning that whatever you see on your screen, we can capture that information and then we can keep that information with us. So it doesn't need explicit connectors. It just works like us humans, right? So we don't have to explicitly do something. We just keep it running and it observes you on the back end like it's not there. And when you need it, you just resurface it and ask the question.
Great one. It's interesting how things are shaping right now, and yeah, my concern would be that, uh, but you have already covered it, that how you are protecting our privacy over there.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Uh, what exactly you think AI is influencing nowadays? Like, uh, what will be the next wave of product development or
Oh
product
yeah.
management, if you say?
Yeah, I guess if you follow along Twitter, you'll find a lot of people talk a lot of things today, and especially if you use or kind of follow some influencer people. in the AI ecosystem. I'll not call them influencer, but who they have had good influence in product teams or have actually worked across AI. They say the most popular programming language today is English. So it's not Python, it's not React, it's not Next, it's English. And if you look at how AI has influenced today's product development, it is around that people like who are non-developers. So you're not even talking about developers. We are talking about non-developers, so who have never seen or written code in their day, in one day in their life. These people are able to go ahead and express themselves in English and are able to generate product. um, yes, they might have security bugs. Yes, it might not be perfect, but the ability for someone who doesn't know at all what code is to be able to generate a website, to be able to add, let's say, generate a diet plan, and do all sort of things which they could, imagine one day they would do. It's tremendous. And the only thing I feel today, which is more needed, is the distribution cycle. So earlier, if I had to build something, it would be like a 4 week sprint, Oh, let's go do this, involve product manager, involve this, involve tester, involve, 10 different people. So what we do now is we just keep prompting, while coding, and then we basically kind of focus on distribution. Okay, who is this product going to be used by? And are these users on internet? Are these users local? Who are these users? Where can I find them? So majority of the effort now is focused on finding the user and selling the product instead of actually thinking, okay, how the product is made. Because everyone is just going ahead, typing out and pumping products like it is, yeah, it is nothing.
Exactly, and it's more like we are just reducing the time as well.
Yeah,
Recently, what happened with me as well? Uh, we had a new, like, we are running a campaign with with a company called ByteDance. I think you know
yeah,
about it, like TikTok's company, ByteDance, and we are having a free model. We are having a entire week campaign. So I just simply asked them, my team, that we need a landing page for early users to just to put their email ID so that we can send some early. It's a marketing gig.
yeah,
They said me that पहले तो we need to have a design, and
yeah,
उसके बाद उसका we will have front end, and उसका फिर back end में we will put forms, and then it will go live. It's a 2 day task. What I did Saturday को I set, and bold.new.
yeah,
I use bold.new. मतलब उसमें it's doing so much, like recently they also launched their hackathon. तो उसके
yeah,
बाद से तो they have improved a lot. मैंने bold.new में I just created the entire page and integrated fill out form in it. That's it. It's just
yeah,
3 hours task. So this is how things are shaping right now, and it's a powerful thing for me as well. Uh, Being a PM, you have uh, such a uh, it's a limitless efforts. You can say that we can do anything right now.
yeah,
In
exactly.
chat, we have others, Chandra, who says, won't be very compute heavy.
Yeah, I guess he's asking in relation to pieces. And
Yeah,
yes, it is compute heavy. Sorry to like put it, because when we use on-device models, we are storing information on your device. It will be compute heavy, but it's not noticeable. If you have a good machine, it's usually not noticeable. It will work on the background, do its work, and yeah, it will just exist. But if you have a smaller machine, or a machine which has less than 8 gigs of RAM, and doesn't have the latest processor, then in that case it might lag a little bit. Yeah,
so what's the lowest specs for that?
I
Maybe
think
for
I think if you have 8 gigs of RAM, that's good. And if you have like one of the latest processors, like if you're on MacBook, then even M1 M2 works. Like you don't need M4 latest. If you're on Windows, then any chip like i5 13 Gen would be fine. As well, it will absolutely work on that. We also tap into like the performance as well. So usually, like it will work. It's not that it will not work. It's just that it will be slower. So yeah,
Great. Uh, so coming to you, focusing on you, tell
yeah,
me more about developer advocacy. Like maybe the audience right now we have, and also I have seen in the interest from they wanted to know about DevRel and how to become a DevRel and what exactly DevRel do
yeah.
or developer advocates do. So tell us more about how what's your day-to-day life.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So developer advocacy, developer relations, and you will find a lot of these roles which are always in talks. And because these are very unconventional roles, like unlike software engineering where the person is going to write code, and kind of do other things. In our role, majority of the people actually don't know. Even developer advocates themselves sometimes don't know what they are going to do when they join a new company. You know, for example, when I was at Postman, I used to get job offers, and I interviewed for one such company, and it was a very technical company, and they had a super awesome package, super enticing package, I would say, right? And then the whole interview went good. I kind of figured the final round, and then before I would I was not looking to join actually, but before I was expecting an offer letter. I asked the HR, hey, what kind of role is this? Like, what is my day-to-day life is going to look like? And the HR came back and was like, hey, Ali, you have to record like 10 TikToks a day, and will be like that will be your major work. So you'll be working with influencers, you'll be recording TikToks, and that's it. And I was like, what about code documentation for us? So like, oh, we don't do that here. For that we have different teams. And I was just so shocked because my role would just be to walk around with short form videos, which would completely defeat the purpose of
So
developer
it's
advocacy.
more like a developer influencer.
Yeah, exactly, right. So every team, every company kind of defines the role in their scope of what developer advocates would do. At Postman, it was a very well defined role. We would do community work, we would do documentation, we would do product feedback, we would re-engage the community, we would do education, so much more. At Pieces, because it's a startup, obviously I do a lot of that, but I also am very hands on with the product, right? So I'm also very hands-on with the ability to understand what is happening at every stage of product, being able to kind of involve in the development process, being able to involve in every process included, right? So yeah, if you ask me today, then I do all of that. I do webinars, I do events, I do documentation, I write code, and I also do like education and whatnot. On the other hand, I am also very involved in the product as well. So product life cycle, kind of getting this product feedback, um, creating feature requests, whatnot. So as a startup, obviously you're wearing multiple hats, yeah. But if you are a student and you're aiming to become a developer advocate, as a role, if you're looking at a target for becoming a developer advocate, I think my advice to you would be to start from coding. A lot of people kind of do this mistake of directly hopping into advocacy. Even though that is also fine, you will still survive and you will still make a name for yourself. But if you are able to kind of do technical work, you understand how software works, and you want to kind of create a huge impact in not just influencing and educating people, but also on the product roadmap side of things, then understanding the ability to understand code, the ability to understand technical aspects makes you like a way different developer advocate than someone who would right out of college kind of do a developer advocacy role, right? And because there are not a lot of companies which hire for these roles, the requirements and the developer advocate, you'll see actually very familiar faces. So you'll not see like for example software engineers. There are just so many software engineers. every now and then. But then if you use, how many developer advocates are there in India? You can count them probably, like you can count and say exact numbers. But that would not happen with other roles, right? So that's why it is like, yeah, it is a very unique role. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting when somebody describe about developer advocacy, because pan India at least you have different definition from
Yeah.
north to south, right? Somebody, like I have seen similar cases where developer advocates are just writing documentations and
Yes.
just putting some videos out. And also I think community is a very important thing for developer advocates. uh, so if somebody is very active in some community during their last year or like third year, may that may help. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there is also a lot of confusion between the technical aspect of advocacy and also developer relations. Um, Particularly if you are not looking for getting into technical aspect, you can avoid the developer advocate role, and you can move on to community manager and developer relations role, right? Developer relation role is inherently non-technical in nature, so it involves more around content creation. It involves more around ability to manage user groups. It kind of focuses more on the non-technical aspects of things, rather than kind of very highly integrated with product. Again, don't quote me on it, but every company might have a different definition of it, right? So yeah, if you are in college and you are doing events, you're participating in communities, all of that experience helps. Even in my case, when I was, kind of going and interviewing at Postman, my experience at Google Crowdsource community was very, very valuable, because that enabled them to see that I have not just worked in across India, but I've also worked across multiple programs outside of India.
Yeah, that's there. Okay, so coming to your small team that you just mentioned about pieces where it's a very small team you guys are having, and uh, there must be workflows,
Yeah,
AI workflows, and nowadays it's a hype thing where AI workflows is everywhere. People are selling literally PDFs around social media, that how to
yeah.
create AI workflows in it, and use करके how you can create the entire flow of mailing and posting in LinkedIn and blah blah stuff. So tell me more about that what's your point of view, and also what are the workflows you are using right now, or maybe your organizations are using.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I think workflows have always existed. It's nothing new in today's world. It's just that there has been a lot of marketing around AI workflows, right? So workflows existed before. Like at Postman, I used to use so many workflows, to kind of map a user to a particular, like referral, or track, how the user is performing on the product, and so on and so forth, and kind of create automations around so many things. And it's just that we used to do it differently back then, right? We would kind of create custom tools. In fact, the very first version of Postman student programs, you'll not believe, we were using Google Sheets and app script to actually walk across all the forms, all the data. Like, yeah, that was the workflow, right? Simple app script, like it had buttons on
That's a work.
screen. Yeah. So I think, a lot of times people, kind of try to, if you understand workflows, like that's the basics of any product, any company. It's just that when you're working in a startup, the workflows tend to be 10x more than your regular big company. So at Postman, probably I worked around 10 to 15 workflows. At Pieces, every day I will be creating 5 to 6 new workflows, right? And that actually allows me to focus my time on doing different things. So for example, I'll give you a very good example. When I used to do live workshops at Postman, I had to do one workshop every other week, and each workshop was attended by around 300 plus people. And it was a tedious task for me to repeat the same content again and again every week. So the content remained the same, the audience was different, but I also, wanted to be live. Um, Fun fact: I created a video which was like a live video, and it had some bytes which I would change every now and then the rest of the content would remain same. But the transition of that whole video via a workflow would be as such that it would not even create 1% of doubt that it was not live. But it was absolutely not live. So I would actually
It's
not
in a
deliver.
slide, the video you are playing in a slide or in a, what's the format of that?
Yeah. So what I would do is I would record the video. I would then go to StreamYard, use APIs, use OPS, and kind of wire the whole system. Like as soon as the host comes in, they announce that okay, let's welcome Ali, and here he goes. There's a transition slide, and then my recording starts playing, right? And I'll wear the same clothes, so there's no doubt. The interaction would remain very same. The icebreakers are same, so the responses, I know what the responses are going to be. So I'm like, hey, okay, thank you for joining from Mumbai, thank you for joining from Delhi, thank you for joining from Hyderabad. I know people will be joining from these cities, right? So if you look at it, the whole thing was a very good particular automated workflow, including StreamYard, OPS, YouTube, live, YouTube APIs, and we would also kind of track that on our academy, which was custom made. So a lot of APIs on the academy itself, and all of that, and then yeah. So I would actually not do that live, and it would just be automated every single time. And in fact, it was so automated that when I left Postman last year, in October, the session ran till February and March, and people would still message me to thank me for their certificate because the video would still run. They did not take it off. So I had to reach out to them and be like, hey, people, I understand, this is all good and all, but if you could kind of take that workflow off, it would be very nice for me because people still think that I work for you folks. So yeah.
Great one. Like, uh, it's a great example to be noted here, that how you can simply figure out something uh, which you are doing daily basis. It's a most tedious job, and how you can automate that.
Exactly. And with AI workflows, you would think that it is different, right? You would think that no, it will require more effort, or it requires more or other things, right? I think when I was trying to replicate this here at Pieces, I was like, okay, I want to do something similar now. But now that there are so many AI tools, I would want to create an avatar of myself. I would want to replicate my voice. I would want to do all of that. And if I wasted 3 to 4 weeks in creating an avatar, adding a voice to it, and doing all sort of things, and ended up following the same workflow I followed at Postman, instead of using all of these AI workflows, right? Because it would just look too AI that people would not believe that it is really automated, right? So you can imagine that even I tried, kind of going ahead and be like, oh, let's use AI workflows. This is something interesting. It is like a model of myself, but that model would not blink. It would just be like this, and talk across the box. I'm like, bro, come on, even if someone
Awesome.
is not, they'll catch me like that. Hey, this is not a live video, right? So just to highlight the fact that it doesn't have to be this way, that you have to use AI while you're designing workflow. Obviously, there are some systems where you might need AI. For example, at Pieces, we use AI so much because our whole product is AI, right? So if I have to send an update to my manager, I don't manually type. I just say, hey, create a stand-up summary for all the work I did last day, and just create a PDF for me, and I just export it and send it to my manager. So something like that is easy. It is like it fits in your workflow already. It doesn't have to take extra effort to kind of go ahead and do that. So that's what I think. Like you need to be conscious of what kind of AI workflow you're creating. Can it be created without AI? Yes, go ahead, create it. Um, do you specifically need AI? Okay, yes. Then in that case, okay, you can go ahead and explore options. You can explore tools and then figure it out.
Great. Um, I would request chat to have again thumbs up emoji maybe that
Yeah.
was still.
Hopefully you're not sleeping.
Yeah, hopefully we are not boring enough. Great. If you guys have any questions, you can just put it right now and we gonna answer that. As they are doing this, I think we have Rajiv, Shahbaz, Vishwapa, Adarsh, Swarupa, Rajveer. Thank you guys. Uh, so Ali, you can connect to me regarding the avatar because in Appify I particularly look into product which is called as, now it's rebranded as in Pixazo,
Yeah.
Pixazo.ai, and we particularly deal with image and video generation. And recently we have released few models which can do the exact thing what you are looking for. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it was not there. I don't know when you last tried it to create a avatar, but last few weeks were very crucial for avatar creation because Kling, then Wan, there are
Yeah.
several models are there which are being launched and that's are present in our platform, and I'm
Oh,
happy.
absolutely. I'll,
Like,
I'll love to try it. Yeah.
yeah, cool. Others is asking thoughts on low level coding. Like, do you see it grow? Languages like C.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So I think every programming language has its place, and every programming language will always have its place. In the world, even if we move to a completely no code platform, right? Um, Obviously, the basis of that will be written on code, and when it comes to optimizations, um, even though high level programming languages provide you a lot of flexibility, but when it comes to writing like code which is super optimized and hyper local, in that case you will have to turn to programming languages like C. And if you look at how programming languages itself are built, majority of them kind of uses low level programming language to kind of make it faster, make it more make it more user friendly and whatnot, right? So if you are looking at mastering these languages, then it is something which you should definitely look into, because that pieces also our co-founders, majority of the time they would actually end up kind of going ahead and writing something from scratch, because because they are so much into programming languages and low level programming languages, that they can go ahead and build it out like from scratch. And I think that ability, that skill set is not present. It is diminishing. Not everyone is today interested in learning about C. Not everyone is interested in building applications using C. And if you can master it, then it's a very rare skill to have in the future, because now that people are even moving from high level programming languages to English, right? That they don't want to even write in Python, they don't want to even write in JavaScript. They're directly kind of going to English. Even programming languages like Python, expertise in that would become more and more valuable.
And also I think it would somehow be a specialized skill at some point, uh,
Absolutely.
because if you are a vibe coder and at like after 10 years or maybe 20 years, if somebody have C as in their skill set or C++ as in their, or C sharp,
Yeah.
it will be always a very rare and high demand job. Maybe the entire table will be turning. Right now AI is so booming and every AI developers are getting so much paid.
Yeah.
uh, it's crazy how a few of my friends are getting the packages, and maybe at that point others you will be getting much better offer, or it will be a very rare skill set to have.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
the question, others, and anybody who want to give, uh, who have something in their mind, just write it down and we can answer that. Moving ahead, what impact you think in the context of again AI plus products that is coming right now? Like uh, we have seen sudden shift of entire lifestyle. Maybe uh, right now the habituate situation of us. I though always discuss with ChatGPT that what I need to have and how
Yeah.
things are happening. Small, look, I always ask ChatGPT even when I'm not getting anything from my maid as well. I ask
Okay.
ChatGPT that these are the vegetables I have right now and what
Yeah.
are the. So just imagine मैं सुबह 6 बजे 7 बजे उठूँ and मेड आके ही पूछती है भैया what you want to have in breakfast and lunch जो आप ऑफिस
Yeah.
में लेके जाओगे एंड आई वाज लाइक शिट यार मेरा ब्रेन काम नहीं कर रहा है आई
Yeah.
नीड टू आस्क चैट जीपीटी देन आई जीपीटी इट एंड उसके बाद वो अच्छे रिजल्ट्स देते हैं मतलब
Yes.
इफ यू सी okay if you see I think gpt is much more better in context of uh, chat or text like if
Yeah.
you generate anything text to image or text to anything their model is so much trained that I think their intellect level is 20% higher than me. Suppose my
Yeah.
intellect is 90, they are 20% ahead of me always.
Yeah.
But in terms of images, recently what I have seen, Nano Banana with Nano Banana model and everything, Google is doing great. So
Yeah.
right now we are having this fight on Gemini versus OpenAI. So what do you think, particularly on that aspect? That what is your opinion on that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. See, I've been always been, I've always been. So when I started my journey, I've always been loyal to Google. A lot loyal to Google because I also did a lot of enterprise level trainings for GCP customers. So I used to do, associate cloud engineer, professional cloud architect, data engineering trainings on Google Cloud Platform. And at that time, I'm talking about year 2018, 2019. No one could come close to touching Google in terms of AI capabilities, be it translation, be it maps, be it suggestions, be it smart auto completes, right? Every other company would be way, way, way behind in terms of even coming close to Google. And then when GPT launched, ChatGPT, OpenAI basically soared up and they, kind of captured the market. They kind of got all the users. And what I seem to understand is the data plays more important role, and experimentation plays more important role than being righteous, right? So a company like OpenAI has nothing to lose. When they launch GPT, they were like, okay, we don't have any revenue model, we don't have, we'll just kind of go ahead and launch ChatGPT and have users use it, let it hallucinate, let it go down. Who cares? It can influence your decision to do anything. And at as a company, as a startup, you don't have much to lose. But someone like Google, if they kind of go ahead and it misclassifies even something as small, there will be a big news. There will be like investors pulling out. There will be It's a public traded company, which means it has to tread very carefully on every territory. And I saw that okay, Google kind of struggled a lot for 2 years to be able to kind of create some state of the art models, but with Gemini 2.5 Pro to Flash and all of these models, they definitely kind of created a dent into the ecosystem of ChatGPT. And with image generation, they just killed the whole ChatGPT ecosystem with images particularly. Because even today, if you go to ChatGPT and you start generating images, you it would take like 10 minutes to generate an image, and that too very inaccurate. It will not even get the text right. But Nano Banana takes like a second, like max 5, and it will give you an image exactly like you asked it to. So in terms of multimodality, I see that even Google, I've used Sora personally, and the video generation also takes a lot of time, doesn't generate as good videos. But if you try Veo 3, oh my God, it's so good. So I feel that Google has obviously had all of this data, which ChatGPT never had for images and for videos. But they did get the text data ahead of time, because of their early launch, and that's why they are very good at text. But when it comes to multimodality, Google has all the data in the world around multimodality. Like their products like Google Photos, like they work on this concept of data.
True.
So I think in multimodality, Google is way ahead. But you cannot discount models like models from Anthropic, like Claude series of models. Or if you kind of go to Quen, you go to open source like Facebook and all of those. And I personally feel, earlier when ChatGPT came into existence, we just had an option, ChatGPT. And so everyone would go to ChatGPT because that was the option. When Gemini came, we tried it and we were like, nah, man, this is not good. Let's go back to ChatGPT, right? And we kind of went back to ChatGPT. But today, when you ask me, okay, Ali, which models do you use? I'm like, okay, I use ChatGPT, for text. I use Claude 4, Sonnet for code. And now I'm using Codex for code. Then when I go to images, I use Nano Banana for images. I use View 3 for videos. I use 11 Labs for audio, and so on and so forth. You'll see that I have so many different services which I use, and which I find interesting, on a day-to-day basis. And I'm not married to anyone. So in this context, if Google comes with a better text model, I'll definitely say bye bye to ChatGPT and go to Google and use their text model, right? So yeah, I think that is like something which I would also recommend others to keep an open mind on. That models particularly don't have feelings, and you're never married to any of these models. You definitely have a choice, and that is why this is a free market where you have so many different competitors. And I actually like it because if you look at image generation, ChatGPT was so amazing because all the Ghibli images came
Yeah.
through ChatGPT, not Gemini, right?
Yeah.
All of that concept of
Right.
creating these images were ChatGPT concept. But as you can see, it has not even been a year from that Ghibli concept to today that everyone is talking about Nano Banana. And
Yeah.
I assure you, ChatGPT is cooking something probably
Yeah.
behind the scenes,
Definitely.
right? And 3 months down the line, we all will forget about Nano Banana and we'll again talk about Ghibli like other challenge probably, right? Yeah,
It's very interesting that how these model war is happening right now, and but it's commendable how Gemini is doing, because
yeah,
you see Ghibli effect and the Ghibli style. They were focused, particularly like ChatGPT and OpenAI. They know their ICP, that this is my ideal customer portfolio or persona, you say.
yeah,
But in Gemini, they have done it in a very wide way.
yeah,
You can't imagine, Ali. My mom, he sent me. She sent me something that sort of look I have created. So there is a vintage sari wala trend going on
yes,
last week only. So she sent me that वो Gemini में she went, and somebody from any YouTube video or any Bangla YouTube video. Just
yeah,
imagine, she went through any Bangla YouTube video and just put it in the prompt, and she generated her own image. And I was thinking, shit, my mom is using
yeah,
Gemini. I can't even imagine in my like even she is shocked that she is using it, and I just uh, I was remembering that we got our first phone when I was in class 6 or 5, and
yeah,
then she also introduced to phone, and from there now she is using Gemini. So it's a very good way, I say, that in this free world, model and company like these are fighting, but in between a lot of bad and good things are happening. I always prefer to look at the good things,
absolutely.
but it's a good thing that how things are shaping around. In
Yeah, exactly. Like if you
yeah,
the whole model thing, right? So today you're able to use a large language model which takes, a lot of servers to run on your mobile device via an API call. And that itself is, such a big thing that if Google is able to serve billions of users on that same infra, how far we have come in terms of technology advancement.
yeah. I mean, that's the power of Google. Like, they were waiting for it, and they just uh, they just crack the market between like ChatGPT and other models are just gone away with the image model. It's a
Yeah.
great thing. I think we can take one question from Piyush. Piyush is saying, want to know about AI's impact in the field of cybersecurity.
Yeah. So literally last week, I was at a college, and students were a lot of students were asking me that, hey Ali, now that everything, people are you don't need to code, you don't need to do all of these things. So how will we get jobs, right? And my very first question to them was, okay, who is securing all these apps which are being generated? No one, right? So possibly a non-coder came, generated a recipe generator app, published it, exposing API keys, exposing user data, and a lot of different stuff. No one right now is proactively reaching out to these devs and offering their services and being like, hey, I'm a security consultant. Let's go ahead and review this. I'll charge $10. Like, I don't want a lot of money, but just doing that, creates a massive opportunity for anyone into cybersecurity. And looking at it, from a lens of white coding as a whole concept, cybersecurity is going to play so much of a bigger role, because imagine that without AI, people are getting scammed so much, right? I have someone very close in my family who got scammed, of lakhs of rupees. And if you look at it, um, they were able to get convinced with a human, on text, like, and that too with someone who they don't know before. And with AI, I think the risks are like crazy greater than anything else, because they can replicate your, child's voice. They can kind of go ahead and, like, as cool as Nano Banana looks like, I could use Saurav's photo, and give him a six pack, So, I mean, looking at the other side of things, cybersecurity folks kind of play a very important role in kind of shaping what tomorrow looks like, and how we can control a lot of these exposures. Even though we, like, right now, like, all big companies are creating models and all of that, and then trusting the end users that they'll do right by themselves and have some AI safety mechanisms. But still, they can't, LLMs inherently, they can't follow instructions. So even though they will follow some instruction, after the context window overflows, they are not going to even look at the system prompt. And you could literally hack into system prompt and like, change it. For example, I show a very good demo at my Gen AI talk. I go to the roughest bot via Amazon, and it is a super amazing bot. You go ahead, you ask it, it reviews questions about products. I go ahead and ask it to write a LinkedIn post. It says, no, I can't write it. And then I go ahead and I say, okay, write a Python program. It says, no, I can't write it. And then I give it a small prompt. And after that, I ask it to generate a LinkedIn post, and it gives me a very beautiful LinkedIn post, more beautiful than ChatGPT can give me, right? So if I can break into a chatbot of a company as big as Amazon, and I'm pretty sure they are paying good amount of money to these engineers who are building this chatbot, I can definitely get into smaller apps which are developed by white coders, which are completely unsecure and are staying on the internet. So I personally think cybersecurity, it was underrated, it's still underrated. And in the future, I feel, even if every student today kind of goes ahead and learns about cybersecurity in some aspect, they'll still have jobs. I would say, programming, maybe not, but cybersecurity, you definitely will have a job. Yeah.
I see very big market coming with cybersecurity.
Yeah, exactly.
Piyush is again asking, what if we combine AI and cybersecurity domains? It will be beneficial, like
Would
AI
that
generated attacks and taking down a AI program defender system
Oh
for
yeah.
red teaming.
Red teaming. Yeah, I've seen this. Last time I was in LA, at a conference, and I was meeting a lot of startups as well. And I met one such startup which is doing exactly this. They have, they manually kind of go ahead and generate the report themselves, and then they have AI agents. So agentic world, right? So we are heading towards agentic world, and so, or you can call it workflow. I would use these words interchangeably more or less, but you can define a workflow which can kind of do exactly the same. So there has been a lot of research and development going on into AI agents trying to crack systems and AI agents trying to defend systems. And I feel there's obviously a lot of like requirement and growth and development needed in that area, because not a lot of people are focusing in this area particularly. So if I meet 100 startups who are generating websites, there are hardly five who are focusing on cybersecurity. So there's not a lot of people who are focusing in that area right now. But yeah, it is quite possible to do and achieve red teaming and kind of attack scenarios. And I personally tell students to kind of, if you are getting into cybersecurity, use AI to the fullest extent and understand what kind of like what kind of help you can get via an AI agent when you are doing cybersecurity work.
Also, as we are discussing, and I think there are a lot of students who have joined today, and maybe it would be a good project for them. So, Ali, what do you think a workflow would look like? How we can create something, uh, maybe automate phishing to companies. Maybe it will be a B2B business, I think, where I reach to a company and asking them that our company does AI automated phishing,
Yeah.
and by the end of the day, uh, I can give you the reports that where are the leaks and who are maybe the culprits in your organization who are clicking on random different links maybe.
Oh yeah, I still remember this. At Postman, we used to get random emails, on a Saturday morning, and it would be from GitHub, but the spelling would be wrong, right? And
Mm.
then we would just click on these links and authenticate ourselves. They would have 2FA configured, so we'll add our 2FA key and get into it. And then as soon as we would go and we would see that okay, we haven't directed to github.com, everything looks fine. On Monday, we would have a list of these users who would have to then go through security training, and doing all of that. And I think, a simple workflow which our security team used back then was to kind of, get similar domains and trick us, who are the employees of the same company into kind of sharing our passwords, via, a simple, website, right? And if you look at it, the opportunities are so much in this scenario, because today, like probably to build a GitHub clone, for them it would probably take like 2 weeks to kind of accomplish something like that. But today I can just give a one prompt and be like, hey, create a page looking like GitHub, exactly like GitHub, and it will pump out the whole thing within like a minute or so. So I think there's a lot of scope in terms of using AI, and specifically around, let's say, creating a workflow. I would personally love to actually kind of go ahead and like get the website URL, see CSF headers, try to inject some JavaScript code into the website and see if it is possible. Try sending additional data in header and in body, apart from the ones which are allowed. Try to extract API keys. For example, a very good or you can say a very bad example of why coded app is that a lot of users will use Supabase or Firebase, and they'll go ahead and deploy the end application. Now, Supabase or Firebase, they both use the concept that the API key can be private. It doesn't matter. User can use the API key. They can see the API key. The controls are actually on rules, database rules. So a lot of people just go to Supabase and they'll be like, okay, allow read all, write all. Same they'll do it with Firebase, right? And then they'll deploy and they'll forget about it. So I could kind of just go to the bucket and have access to the whole of bucket, and these things can be automated via a simple workflow where I can kind of go to a website, see what kind of hosting service they are using, see what kind of attacks I can plan, go ahead and execute these code execution blocks, because a lot of these models support code execution. So I have a script which I can run on top of that, see if I can access their info. And I would actually draft an email automatically and add some of that information, star it, and be like, hey, I'll just run this flow in the morning, and in the night, there are like 20 companies which got that email, uh, which has, we have exposed their storage to. So I think there's obviously a lot of things, actually a lot of things people can do. Find vulnerabilities, find open buckets, find data leaks. A very good example was also how these AI apps store password. Majority of them actually don't encrypt it, so they just store it, like plain text, and they're like, okay, this is username, this is password,
I
So
still remember how I used to get password of my friends, just
yeah,
by simply clicking on the inspect and just go to password, and you can simply see the entire password on it. So I used to
exactly
tell
right.
my friend that in my web, just put your password and username, and just look around somewhere, and I can give your password right away.
Exactly, right. So that was such a small hack we used to do, like change the type from password to text, and
Yeah, yeah.
the whole password is visible. And I
Visible.
think this is exactly how I would think about today's attacks, and think about the workflows I can build across them.
Hmm. It's a good thing, guys. If somebody want to do it, I personally can help, or maybe give a trial and error to that, and maybe Ali can also give his input to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
It's like
I'll just take ten
interesting.
percent of whatever you earn. So yeah.
10% of advisory or full equity.
Yeah, equity probably. Yeah, I don't believe in equity. I'll take the cash.
Okay, 10% of the entire profit.
Yeah.
Great. Uh, Talking about cybersecurity, I just think that popped in my mind that there are multiple, as we are solving things, there are multiple gaps also which are coming up. So what do you think, uh, upcoming gaps, or maybe currently few gaps or opportunity for all the folks, for us as well? Yesterday I was talking to my friend that chalo kuch startup karte hain, but uh, we are so biased with the thought of AI and how things are working around us. Every news around data training, somebody is training this model, that model, using this, using different wrappers. At the end, everything is a wrapper.
Yeah.
So maybe I just want your point of view on this. That what do you think current existing gaps or opportunities that students, maybe entrepreneurs who are watching right now or who will be watching this video later, might get something out of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of opportunities everywhere, and I think personally, when I look at a startup, like when I look at starting a startup, even starting a t-shirt business, is so it seems like everyone is doing it, like what extra I can do in it, right? But I think running a known business kind of highlights the problem which you will actually understand while running a particular business, right? I can't actually tell you that, okay, if I am having a t-shirt company, what is the problem which I'm going to get? People think, okay, it's easy. You get a t-shirt, you get a printer, you print it, and boom, it's good. Yeah, you keep the printer for 2 days and the head is jammed. So now you have to spend 20,000 more to get the head replaced, and the profit from the t-shirt you made is 100 rupees, but the head which you're replacing cost 20,000. So I think personally I believe that people, if they don't take and run a known business, they will actually not understand the problem in running a business, right? And especially around AI, I think a lot of these ideas are now so easy to prototype and implement that it just hardly takes any time to actually go live. A very good example is when astrotalk basically said that they are having so many users. It's such a big business today that you can tell your future and people believe it and everything around that. I'll not question the authenticity of it, but as a business, how good that is, right? that you're able to kind of create value for people which they really find value in, and then you're charging money on top of that, and people are paying for it. And my best friend, literally sat down, and he lives in he is based out of Australia, and this guy basically went ahead and built a very clonish website, which would actually do numerology. I can't even pronounce it, but it basically is something to do with numbers, right? So it just adds your date of birth and create some sense out of it. Okay, I'm not questioning it again. I'm very open-minded person, so I'm just understanding the business aspect of it.
Yeah.
And this guy basically did not market it on Twitter or anywhere else. He just posted it on some closed forums across the friends he have known over the past, and he got like 200 users over a week's time. And imagine if he even charged like $5 per user. He has a viable business, right? So I think if you ask me that, hey Ali, is this a viable business? And I'm a friend, I'll talk you down. I'll be like, hey bro, AstroTalk is there. Why would I pay you, right? I will go to them, right? But someone who actually doesn't know about AstroTalk, or who just kind of listen to the news that hey, this company is kind of making this amount of money. I just need to market my product well, and I need to kind of establish it there. And his main pitch was that hey, this product, it's all AI, so no real human is actually on the scene, so no one is judging you. You can say whatever you want to say, whatever, and no one actually can leak your information. And people kind of took that as a feature.
Mm.
So I think unless you try it out and you go out there in the market and you see, if people are willing to pay for it, I think today adding a paywall takes hardly 10 minutes. Making the product takes like a weekend. So if a weekend long product is fetching you some revenue, I'll say go for it. Like go for it, try it, and see if it is a viable business. If it is, yeah, it is, you have a business at your hand which you can run, and you will find caveats, you'll find problems in that business as you scale that business, right? um, Believe me, when Lovable started, or when Bold.new started, I looked at these websites and I was like, bro, what is this? Like, I could build it in 2 days time. It's just a system prompt on the back end, like it's nothing crazy. But then,
Everybody just.
yeah,
Everybody.
exactly. It's the same thing. It's the same feeling that hey, I can just build it out. Like, why do I need to use these people? But then if you look at their distribution strategy, the way they create value, the way they show value, the way they target non-coders, I'm not their ideal customer. They don't care about me, right? So I can bitch all I want about how bad the product is. I'm not their ideal user. Their ideal user is enjoying. They are loving the product, and they are paying them $20 a month every month a month, right? So I think that is what we need as as a builder, as entrepreneurs, as someone who wants to do business, is to kind of get into the shows, try out some products, and kind of build it out, get in front of the users, and let the users be the judge. Do they want to pay you? Do they don't want to use your product? And you don't need thousands of followers on Instagram, on Twitter, on Reddit, on different forums. You can just go post about it, get feedback, and see what people say. And I guess that is the biggest advice I'll give all students, to kind of go ahead, build it out. You want my feedback, go ahead, DM me on Twitter, DM me on LinkedIn, DM Sourav. Sourav is also, a really good product manager. You can kind of go ahead and talk to him, and you will get so much more information, and so much more, guidance in terms of shaping the journey of your product.
Hmm. That's true. Actually, if you focus on building something, it's so easy right now to build something. So my
Yeah.
next thought was, what do you think? Building five product in a week, or building one product in 1 month, and having proper distribution and spreading out in the market, and also uh, getting deeper into nation. So right now in the market there are two things which is happening, two trends which are happening. First company, first a they are doing multiple things. Suppose you are getting nano banana trend, another trend, everything. They just release small apps. Suppose they are releasing around 100 apps in a month,
Yeah.
they are getting business out of it. But if is they are solving enough, is they are thinking about the customer, is there any thought process behind like talking to users and having the interviews or anything. No, they are just taking the revenue and just taking advantage of trend, which is not bad as per my perspective. But
Yeah,
on the other hand, if you are building one product with core knowledge on that, and also asking and iterating and also thinking about that product and what else we can do, that is another way how traditional startups are building, like astrotalk. They are different, zomato, swiggy, everybody does that. But as this ball get bigger, the models are wider. What people are doing right now, they are going with the trend. So, आज for last for upcoming 3 months, this trend is coming. I will create an app around that, and then
yeah.
I will just post. So, what you think on that? That is it something which is viable for the future or to sustain in the market? In terms of startups, you have seen so many startups, and you have experience with different startups as well. So, what
Yeah,
do you think?
I think there is obviously, both the approaches, and I would not comment on, the success of each approach, but I definitely would comment on, what the outcome is, right? There are two ways of making $100,000, right? One way is finding 100,000 users paying $1, and another is finding 1,000 users paying $100 each, right? Both of them achieve the same goal. Now, to make something which someone will pay $100 for will take you a month, but to build something which someone will pay $1 for, yeah, you can build it probably in a day, right? You can solve a very simple, for example, the nano banana thing, right? I could go ahead, build something and ask for $1, and you get an image, right? You get 10 images, 10 viral images. Upload your base image, give me $1, get 10 viral images. Would someone pay for it? Yeah. But is it sustainable over a long period of time? No. But does that contribute to my $1 million goal? Yes. So I think in in today's world, the velocity is so fast, um, that I don't need to stick with that one idea forever. I could go ahead and today, walk around with nano banana and jump on this trend and create a startup within the day it is announced. I could Within the day it is announced, I could create a startup, and I could kind of go ahead and launch it and get like 50,000 users, and it will die down in a week. My product dies down in a week. I'm done with the product. I encash the money. I go build something next, right? And you will see a lot of Twitter people doing that, right? They believe that, okay, I'll go ahead and build this real quickly, dump it, go ahead and build something next, right? And they just encash every money on it. It's like a freelancing job. It's just that your clients are your users. So instead of a particular one client, you have 10,000 clients, and each one of them are not willing to pay you more money, but they are willing to pay something, right? And you're just satisfying these clients from time to time and building new projects. And it gives you a thrill because you're working on different project ideas every week. It gives you money, obviously, because there are users who are seeking these things. Someone literally bought the nano banana domain. You search for it, it's the first thing you will see, and that's not by Google. You know, so yeah, people are hustlers and they are trying that option as number one. Now, something like pieces, you cannot build over a weekend. You cannot build it over a month. You cannot build it over a year as well. Because the kind of effort it takes to train a nano model to understand the user problem and retain context for a period of a year, it is it is immeasurable in terms of the kind of impact and the kind of product which we are building. Obviously, it will not have like a million users now, but the way it is designed towards retention. It's designed towards like the future goal of it, right? So the people who are using it today will find value 3 months down the line when they search for something 3 months older, and so on and so forth. And for us, we think that, okay, this product will stick around. People would want to use it again. People would want to come back, and people would want to pay as a subscription fee in the long term. And I think there are products like these which are also there, which work in the long term. For example, visas are a constant thing. Rules constantly change. For example, there was rumor that United States are going to charge $200 for even visitor entries. How true is that? Okay, I have to go next month to US, so should I take $200 with me to hand it over to the immigration officer? What if I hand it to him and he says you're bribing me? So the information is so wide and not available, that if I build an app which can actually do that for me with the updated information, it is something which I would go back to again and again, right? So I think there's a very big difference on what kind of product. Are you building a legacy? So if you find some of these Twitter influencers or Twitter developers, they are known for building. But if you ask anyone, which is the one exact app which they remember about these creators, they'll not be able to pinpoint it because there are 20 apps which these creators build, right? And they are not trying to build a legacy; they're trying to make money, and they are successful doing that. But if you ask, okay, what app did Avinav build? Avinav Asthana, you'll be like, oh, this guy is a co-founder of Postman. He built Postman. You go ahead and you talk about, okay, what Sundar Pichai built. You'll not have 20 different names. You'll have one name, and that name will resonate with his legacy. And similarly, when I used to work at Postman, everyone would know me that, hey, this guy works for Postman. Postman is such a big company, this, that, and all of that. When I work for Pieces, I'm in a startup ecosystem. So I go ahead and, kind of people know me because of me. And also, what amazing work we do at Pieces, right? So it's more experimental, it's more nuanced, it is more exciting, and that's why people are like, oh, now we know it with a different personality. So I think that as an individual, we need to decide ourselves, what do we want? Do we want to create a legacy? Do we want to create a product which lasts? Do we want to create a product which has retention? Or do we want to go ahead and build smaller products which give us money, but they die? They die a painful death, and believe me, I have seen founders fell in love with the product so much that they would go against the world to see a product that, they'll be like, no, a very good example is Jensen. This guy literally fought off everyone to kind of build GPUs and, to keep building what he was building. And then when the right time came, everyone's like, oh my God, this guy's a visionary. This guy was about to go broke 5 years ago. No one gave a shit. So
He
I
was
think,
looking up to him.
yeah, exactly. So I think there's like this type, and you have to find your type.
Hmm. So if Ali is with no title or anything, just imagine that you don't have any job or anything, and you
Yeah.
are in this current job or in current market situation. So what would be one thing you wanna build? Like, there are two direction what we are talking about right now. So
Yes.
which
I would
one?
first direction. Yeah.
So which one you gonna choose?
Yeah, I would go with the first one as my short term goal. So probably I'll do that for a year or two. But meanwhile, as I'm doing that, I'll focus on a one product like which I think will stick to a lot of people. And I don't have it yet. I don't think I have it yet. The product which I think will stick with people. But while I'm working with the smaller projects, I will realize and would kind of discover this idea that, okay, this is the product which I want to build in the longer term, right? So I'll start with quick wins, because that is something which gives dopamine hits, and I love that. So I would want to build small, uh, get some early money, and try to kind of hit some highs. Once I have that, and then I will kind of go the other route of building stable product over a period of time, and servicing some good customers, and kind of creating a legacy. Yeah.
Great, cool. Chat. Are you guys are alive or not? Show me
Yeah.
thumbs up.
Hopefully they are.
Hopefully they are still alive.
Yeah, I guess the discussion got too deep.
Mm.
Okay.
Rajiv is saying yes. I think the rest are just left the chat. But anyway, uh, we are very close to our ending.
Yeah.
Rajiv is saying we are alive. Thank you, Rajiv. Shahbaz, Adarsh, Abhimanyu. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Um, just a quick rapid fire round. After
Yeah.
that, we gonna announce DevFest 2025 date. We're gonna reveal that, and we gonna wrap this our own product people AI, and this is our first version. And Ali is our first guest of honor. And again, thank you, Ali, for doing this. Uh, I will give two options, and you
Yeah.
have to choose it very fast. Okay,
Okay.
cool. AI or human?
AI.
Front end or back end?
Backend.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coding in silence or with music?
I prefer instrumental if that is considered music.
Python or JavaScript?
Python.
Startups or big tech?
So, yeah, big tech.
I think you were thinking about the other options because you are currently in startup. Is
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
so?
Every time you are at one place, you find the other place interesting. Whereas at Postman,
Yeah,
I used to find, oh man, these startups are so fast, it looks good. And when I'm at startup, I'm like, hey man, this big tech looks so good.
grass is always greener at the other.
Exactly. Yeah.
So work from home or office?
Work from home,
Debugging code or writing new code?
writing new code.
Morning coder or night owl?
Night owl. I sleep at 6 a.m. So you can say I'm a morning coder.
Yeah, that's true. If you guys want to hear some small story, that the day when I decided that I'm gonna talk to Ali about this special podcast, uh, I texted him that Ali, I'm late, but we have to discuss something regarding this, and he was like, "Okay, tell me." But then I was into movie theater and I was traveling. I said that yeah, do baj jayenge, it will be late. He said, "Ki nahi, nahi, koi nahi, I'm there, no issues." And I called him in 2 p.m. and we set up this call that we're
Yeah.
gonna have this podcast, and it's crazy. Uh, okay, hackathon or conference?
Conference.
Hmm, strange. Matlab, I
Yes.
thought you gonna say hackathon, but
Yeah, I'm yeah, so I've done so many hackathons that I don't find a lot of new uh, you know new projects these days in hackathons. So that's why I don't find it interesting, particularly because now all the right now everyone is just using AI just because they can. There's no particular innovation or any particular use case they're trying to solve. They just use AI. You won't believe me. I was at a student hackathon last month. Not even student; it was a professional hackathon. It was very amazing. Like from a looks of it. Um, I saw close to 30, 40 teams. Every team had similar, like literally same
projects.
UI,
Yeah.
same projects, same features, because everyone used ChatGPT to generate it. So even the UI looked very similar. Yeah, so I was like, bro, like, I'm done with hackathons. Obviously, I enjoyed more when I'm in SF because I get to see some bigger projects, some projects which are actually good. And even at hackathons, I see some projects which are like, which are like one project would be very nice, which are doable, but then majority of them, they are not good. In conferences, why? Because I love to meet people, and I think I meet a lot of good people at conferences. Even my previous experience when I was to US tour, in New York, in LA, places, I met so many people and it's always interesting without having the habit of doing a lot of things. So,
Great, great. So here's the time. I want everyone to show your emotions via emojis. Just give your emojis that how you are excited.
yeah, that would be nice.
Hmm. So this year we are we are putting our Deaf Fest 2025. It would be around, not around. it will be on 16th of November. So cheers,
Nice.
guys. It's on 2020. It's on 16 November, and you all are invited over there. And hopefully, hopefully, I'm not sure, and I'm just giving it as an impromptu. Ali will be there as well. So
Yes. Will try my best.
मैंने बिना बिना डिस्कस किए आपसे I invited you already, but
Yeah.
hopefully you're gonna see Ali as well in person, and also not just that, those who have joined our today's discussion or podcast, they will get exclusive 10% discount on their tickets. So your discount coupon will be mailed to you, and yeah, I'm also very excited. People are just writing Deaf Fest 2025, 16 November.
Yeah. That's nice.
That's nice. Cool. I think again, thanks to you guys for joining on mid of week, and a huge thanks to Ali. We can
Yeah.
have clap emoji on the chat.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Saurav, as well, and GDG Siliguri for hosting this. Yeah. Would love to come in person. And yeah, clap for everyone.
Definitely. Kudos to everyone, and also thank you again, Ali, for coming in at such a short notice, because that was really like we launched this event 2 days back, and we are here right now. Maybe next time we're gonna come a little bit prepared, and this is
Yeah.
our first in this series. We're gonna run this series in every week, or maybe twice or thrice in a month, and we're gonna host next product people AI with new guests, and also with new domains.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. See you folks around. Bye bye.
Yes. Before we leave, Ali, just a short Q&A session
Oh, yeah.
from our chat. I think they are posting something. So it's open now. We have 5 minutes. I will just buy 5 minutes from Ali. And guys, if you have any doubt, any confusion, you can just put it here. They are very excited about the Dev Fest.
Yeah. You're getting a lot of questions around DevFest.
Yes, so there will be. We are planning some hackathons before Dev Fest, and we're gonna announce that as well. Venue also, we're gonna maybe in our next podcast we're gonna reveal that. How about
Oh,
that?
that's nice.
So, folks, any questions regarding whatever you have learned today, or anything which is coming up in your mind right now, you can just put it, or we can just close today's podcast and our live session. Okay. Others is saying what is tech stack in okay, what's the tech stack in pieces, and what really is getting used mostly in backend.
Yeah. We are using Flutter. So that's a primary, basically for cross app development. Because it's multi, like right now everywhere. Basically, it's for Linux. It's there for like Windows and Mac as well. So that's what we are using on backend. And yeah, we have so many different services and individual teams who are working on different languages and Ruby. Like I guess we use everything. There's nothing particularly which we don't use. Yeah. So, but majority would be Flutter. Yeah, majority would be Flutter.
Okay. Shabazz is asking Meta's latest Ray-Ban glasses focus on augmented real world experience with live capture and display, while PCs emphasizes long-term digital memory and workflow continuity. Do you see a future where PCs integrate with device like smart glasses to unify physical and digital contacts? It's a very good question.
Absolutely. Yeah. I When I saw that, I was like, do they allow third-party integrations? Like if they do, it's gonna be massive, right? Imagine that, right? Whatever you're seeing, whatever you are able to kind of feel, you're able to feed into an artificial memory ecosystem, which you can retrieve later. And I have tried to do that. So I'm not sure if you know about 11 Labs agent. It's called 11.ai. It's amazing. Go ahead and try it out. It's an agent which can basically talk like a human. You can call it, you can connect it, and you can talk to this agent. Now, the best part about that is I actually built out a small prototype, which basically uses my system. So because pieces is not hosted online, like the database is not hosted online, it provides a local host URL, which is a bummer because if you want to kind of use a service like 11.ai, you can't, like, because obviously it reach HTTPS URL, which is like hosted somewhere. Because we are going to use MCP server and it will use HTTP protocol to kind of get that done. So what I did was use ngrok to tunnel it, and tunnel it into like a hosted city server, and then use 11.ai to actually connect it to the system as a language model. And it was so interesting because I could just say, hey, what did you get done yesterday? And that is like literally my work, just to 11.ai agent via pieces, and it tells me that, hey, you these things. Then I can stop it and I can say like, oh, wait a minute. What about the academy I was working on? And it'd be like, oh, the pieces academy. Oh, these are the things which you implemented, and these are the things which are pending. And I'm like, oh, nice. Let's get started on the pending things, and then I can go to my system and start coding over that. So I think I have already implemented a base version of it, but I definitely see that all the realities which are there currently are going to merge into one in the very near future. And we have already seen a lot of hardware devices like lockets, keychains, bracelets, like obviously smart glasses like Ray-Ban Meta glasses and whatnot, getting developed to actually mix with the virtual and the physical world. So it's going to be very interesting. I am personally looking to buy the Meta's Ray-Ban glasses as soon as they come and become available to buy, because that is a piece of hardware I would definitely want to try. And to your question, I'll also try implementing, pieces extension into it and see if it actually works.
And we are looking forward to have that as well.
Yeah,
Okay, is there any further question? Because we have already exceeded the time, and I don't want Ali's first experience to be हम time से आगे जा रहे हैं and delaying the entire meeting.
yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys, again for joining. Thank you, Ali, for joining us tonight, and looking forward to have more such conversation, more such, maybe we can name it chai with Saurav and chai with
Ali,
Ali.
why not? Coffee with Ali. You
Yes,
forgot.
coffee with, sorry, I'm a chai person, so that's why chai.
Yeah,
But
secretly, I'm also a chai person. I just said coffee
acha,
because it's socially acceptable.
for developers.
Yeah.
uh, cool, cool. Thank you, Ali.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.